Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Village of Gurnee Planning and Zoning Board for this Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. Could we have a roll call, please?
Campbell. Present. Morgan.
Here.
Nordentoff. Here. Half.
Here.
Hazak.
Here.
Ware.
Here.
And Sula.
Present. We are all here. Very good. If everyone would please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the first item on the agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from our meeting that was held back on March 15th. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or changes? If not, a motion to approve as submitted would be in order.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Paff, second by Mr. Pasak. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a minor special use permit amendment for the Starbucks, the one located at 1500 Nations Drive. Tracy?
Sure. Allison Aldig with Kimley Horn, representing Starbucks, is seeking a minor special use permit amendment to allow the relocation of Starbucks order point from its current location to just north of the dumpster enclosure. This relocation is proposed in order to increase the time between the order point and the pickup window so that there is less wait time at the pickup window. The applicant is in attendance to present the proposal. The Planning and Zoning Board has decision-making authority on minor special use permit amendments. The original special use permit standards apply to this request.
Okay, great. At this time, I'll turn the floor over to the petitioner, and it's probably easiest if you used this microphone.
Just stand right here. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Allison Aldag. I'm a civil engineering consultant with Kimley Horn, and I'm representing the Starbucks at 1500 Nations Drive. I'm just going to read what I wrote down just so I don't forget anything, and then, yeah, questions at the end. Thanks. So Starbucks has been looking to improve their drive-through restaurants nationwide. They've noticed that many of their stores, including this one, are experiencing backup issues and long wait time. Starbucks has determined that this is caused by lack of production time. They found that customers oftentimes have to wait at the pickup window for their order. This wait, in turn, causes the whole drive-through stack to have to wait. As a solution, Starbucks would like to move their order point further back. The intent is to allow for Starbucks staff to have more time to produce orders so that customers may pick them up as soon as they arrive at the pickup window. For this store specifically, we're proposing relocating the order point from 71 feet back to 111 feet back, which is about 40 feet further back in the stack. At other sites, this has decreased wait time at the pickup window by 20 to 40 seconds. This proposed order point relocation includes the installation of 4 new pieces of drive-through equipment, a new 3-panel wall-mounted menu board, a new wall-mounted digital order screen, a new steel pipe bollard, and a new detector loop. Any pavement, curb, and/or landscaping disturbed will be replaced in kind, and there will be no changes to the existing parking count. Next slide, please. So to quickly recap, the goal of the order point relocation is to increase the overall speed of service. Starbucks is hoping that this chain of events occurs with the relocation. First, with the order point moved further back, service is able to begin sooner than usual. Next, with more service time now available, the drive-through can move continuously instead of being backed up for long periods of time. And finally, orders are ready when the customer reaches the pickup window, so customers are no longer waiting at the pickup window. On average, an order point relocation similar to this one will decrease vehicle wait time by 20 to 40 seconds at the pickup window, which in turn can increase the speed at which vehicles move through the drive-through. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
I went over there and observed twice. One time it was
there was not too many people in the drive-through. But the second time I went in, it was backed up all the way to the first island. So every spot in front of the building was covered by cars. And so the only thing this would do to me, that I can see, is to add 2 more cars to the stacking before the order board. I do understand what you're trying to accomplish, but even in your own photo, there's no cars in front of the order board.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is truly to improve when there is a huge stack. And typically Starbucks has found that the issue occurs at the pickup window itself. Usually cars can move through and order quickly, and then oftentimes they'll be sitting there waiting at the order point because they can't move forward because there's already cars waiting in front of them. Yeah, so this is truly to improve their times when they're most busy, which are usually the
Yeah, all I'm saying is that's not what I observed. There was still a couple spaces after the order board before the window, and all the cars were stacked up all the way around the building to the front. So even in
I
your,
see what you're saying.
even in your picture here, there's no cars past the order board other than the ones that are drawn in. Isn't that true? Am I missing something?
No, that's true. That's the case. I see what you're saying.
So anyway, that's my comments anyway.
Dave?
I understand Mr. Paff's concern about it. When I read through all this and I listen to the testimony, it doesn't sound as if this is being proposed as a solution to eliminate the problem, just to try to improve the problem. So, you know, it is a site that's going to have different degrees of demand depending on time of day and that sort of thing. So, you know, I didn't interpret anything in here that told me that this was going to make this problem go away. But perhaps it's a simple operational between maybe relocating the order board and maybe, you know, whatever they can accomplish internally from an operation standpoint to help move people through, you know, that's their, you know, plan or intent, but I didn't really interpret it any other way. So I don't really have a problem with what they're going to do, and it's going to change nothing from an aesthetic standpoint or anything like that. So if it helps a little bit and reduces the number and percentage of time that it's extreme and out into the lot, then I think that that's still okay. We were okay with this before in the current conditions, so why would we not be today? So that's not
Well, doesn't it add 2 more cars into the stacking out in front of the order board, though?
I guess the question is, when there's a backup before the order board, is the queue between the order board and the window full? I mean, that, if it is, this will get more cars past the order point. 2 more cars, I guess.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is that what the experience of the operation is? Is that entire queue between the order board and the pickup window is full?
Typically, yes, and Starbucks does want to do this to help improve their highest queue times or their high peak hours, and during high peak hours, that is definitely the case. So yeah, in less busy times, it's probably the case that there might be a backup at the order window and no one before them, but in their highest peak hours, the backup is between the pickup window and the order point.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. It's not going to solve the problem of peak hour backup. It's going to hopefully, you know, lessen the time, but from what I've observed, you know, you're going to get another 2 vehicles over here and past the order board stacking. And if you looked at the actual pictures right now, the way that it is, right, I mean, if these other vehicles were at the window, the ones that are stacked now, again, it would just be eliminating this at moderate to somewhat high peak times. It's not going to change the whole dynamic. They're not going to completely wipe this out. but it might help a little bit. And I think we've talked about this before with some others, that it's probably more of a process and operational thing for them to be able to speed up, operations than it is really anything to do with the lot and the stacking.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, it's a made-to-order operation.
Right.
So there's going to be some prep time. So to me, I guess it does make sense to me to have more people past the order point would be to their advantage. And I wholeheartedly agree with Mr. Nordentoff that, I mean, we've already got the drive-through there, so I mean, the issue of, whether it's appropriate or not is really not is not open for discussion, so I personally don't have a problem with the request. Anybody else?
My only concern is that, if you stack up, excuse me, my bad. If you stack up as far as they're shown here with the Phantom cars that they have there, you're blocking the handicap zone, and that concerns me. I have a few people that I know that would need to park there, but if you can't park there and get in and out, then they'll have to end up parking over on the west side, because usually the east side and the south side is completely packed. Whenever time I've been there, that's where everybody goes, especially if you use the app, you park as close as you can to that front door, get in, get out. And then the handicapped people would have to end up parking clear over on the west side and trying to get in, and then that defeats the purpose of having the handicap stalls as close to the building. So that is my only concern. Is there a way that we can prevent people from blocking the handicap areas to get in and out? I have no solution to that. It's just that was my concern when I looked at everything in total with it, so.
And if I understood Mr. Paff correctly, he observed that today.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
backed up past all those parking spots were blocked. I mean, I didn't stay there and watch, see how
No, I
long
understand.
it stayed like that, but when I pulled in, I couldn't have pulled into one of those spots. Nice to have the bypass lane though, because I just drove around.
Unless the person's blocking the bypass. It's happened to me before.
Josh?
Bottom line for me, I don't have a problem with the proposal because it's quicker to place the order, to take it, then they move through the line. And for the data in the presentation, it's going to speed up the wait time, right? You're going to wait 20 to 40 seconds less. You're going to have more people waiting for their order to be made, moving through the system. So I think it will not only give a better level of service, but move people through the line quicker. And that's why they're proposing this. I don't think that Starbucks would want to make this investment if they didn't have the data behind them to prove it out.
Okay.
Just real quickly, I want to appreciate the staff indicating the concerns in the applicant's amendment to the suggestion. So thank you for compromising there. And I don't have any concern about this purpose or goal to make the wait time less. And you say that other Starbucks have, there's data on that lessens the time with this distance?
Yeah, as a whole, on average, there's data. We don't have specific numbers for this store. I could ask Starbucks for that if you guys wanted that or needed that, but yeah, they don't have store-specific data other than revenue metrics.
That's okay.
If there's no other question, yeah, go ahead, Tracy.
I was just going to say that in regards to the handicap stalls, I can look at the code and see if there's any way that they might be able to be shifted over to the east side of that aisle, because there is a bypass lane that they can back into. I'm just not sure that that's going to meet the handicap accessibility code in terms of the location of those parking stalls. They're supposed to be the most proximate to the entrance, so, but I can certainly take a look at that, and if there's any flexibility and it makes sense to maybe flip them to the other side of that aisle so people can get in and out should that stacking go all the way back through there, we'll certainly have them do that.
Would you be
I can
adding?
think of at least one place in town that has that situation.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the specific situation is. Are there
Saludos,
park,
something like that.
are there parking spots that are, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did it legally, or sometimes they just
I don't-
restripe
I
them
don't know.
without, so, but I will certainly take a look at that, and if we can flip them and it makes sense, and we can talk to Starbucks about doing that, just so that people parked in that handicap have some ability to get out using that bypass lane.
Would you be flipping or adding?
Flipping, probably. We might be able to take a look at whether we can add one or two over there. I'm not sure if they're overparked. They probably are, but I couldn't tell you. If they're overparked, we can certainly take a look at just adding handicap parking spots over
Thought
there.
I read that they were not, I thought I read that they were underparked. Did we? I could be wrong.
You thought what?
That they were under.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Oh, I don't know. If they're underparked,
You
then.
think they're underparked?
Well, I don't know whether in reality they are, but I thought somewhere I read there was 7 parking spaces short. Didn't you read that?
Yeah, I thought we made an exception
Yeah.
when they were first. I thought we made an exception at the outset for the parking.
But that's probably,
We can take a look at that. If they're able to, then we can do it. If not, then we'll just see if we can flip them to the other side,
Okay, I think it's a great idea if it's allowable.
if it's possible, yeah.
By ordinances or whatever. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, as Tracy indicated, we have approval authority on this one, so a motion in the form of an approval would be in order.
Just a suggestion,
Yeah.
do you want to make that condition of flipping them if it's possible, as a condition of approval, or not? You can do it either way.
If we can word it, if possible, as opposed to they must.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine, okay. Sure.
Yep. Motion to approve a minor SUP amendment to allow the relocation of the Starbucks order point from its current location to just north of the dumpster enclosure in accordance with the revised plans presented to the PZB as part of this petition request, in addition to flip or move the handicap parking spots if possible.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Campbell.
Aye.
Morgan.
Yes.
Verntoff.
Aye.
Half.
aye.
Azak.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
And Sula.
Aye, motion carries. So the next step is just proceeding with the permitting process and exploring whether or not to move those spaces or not. And Tracy can give you guidance on that. So,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you all so much.
We have on the calendar a meeting scheduled for May 3rd. Do we have anything, Trace?
We do not have any public hearings, and we do not have any non-public hearing items. It's always possible, but it's most likely that that meeting will be canceled.
Okay. I'll open the floor to public comment. There's no one here. I'll close the floor to the public. A motion to adjourn to be in order.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thanks, everyone.